Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're doing a little bit different format this time because we have to talk about Kathleen Kennedy. All the reports that came out over the last week or so that she would be stepping down at the end of the year, which were ultimately refuted in an article that dropped yesterday, where she basically says that she's going to still be involved even if she does step down. And man, as a Star Wars fan, I have a lot of thoughts on this. I have been in love with the Star Wars brand for almost my entire life, since I was a 5-year-old kid playing with AT-ATs and, watching the original trilogy for the first time. And having been with the franchise through all of its ups and downs, we are in dark days, my friends. We are in dark days. It's no secret that the general fan base isn't super excited about the direction that Star Wars has been the last few years. The unfortunate product that was the sequel trilogy, and the lack of any theatrical movies in years, which is insane for a brand like Star Wars. And it really all comes back to Kathleen Kennedy. As the head of Lucasfilm, as the person that is really in charge of making sure that this billion-dollar franchise is constantly moving in a positive direction, that, these movies that are proclaimed to be happening actually happen. She has not done a good job. You can't objectively sit there and say that she has done a phenomenal job as the head of Lucasfilm. Even if you are a super fan of the sequel trilogy or The Acolyte or the Disney Plus shows that have been met with generally mixed reviews from the audiences, you can't gaslight me into believing that Kathleen Kennedy has done a good job. You can't. There's nothing you can say to defend a franchise and an IP with the status of Star Wars, with that name recognition, to not have a film in theaters for this amount of time. For these shows to not even crack the Nielsen top 10 in viewership. There's no excuse for that. And the fact that this woman continues to basically flip the bird to fans and say, nope, I'm not going anywhere, I'm still going to be involved in projects. It's mind-blowing. Anybody in the world that has a job and is not good at their job and doesn't produce results tends to not keep their job. That's the way it works. That's the way the world has always worked. But not in the world of Disney. Not in the world of Lucasfilm, apparently. And it is frustrating. But there is hope. And that hope comes from the fans. The community, the YouTube community, the Star Wars gaming community. The people that love this franchise and fight to keep its spirit alive. No matter what they make from this point on, we will always have the original trilogy. We will always have the prequels. We will always have the Clone Wars. We will always have the expanded universe. All these great authors that contributed to a massive multimedia project that really kept Star Wars alive during a time where there were no films. As long as we have that, they can't take that away from us. And by they, I mean Disney, Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, whoever you want it to be. But if you're not a fan of the new stuff that they're making, don't let that diminish your love of the old stuff and the stuff that still brings you joy. I try to promote positivity on this channel. I try to talk about all things Star Wars, even the parts I don't enjoy. Even shows and characters and stories that I didn't particularly care for, I try to cover because I understand there are people that enjoy these things. And I want to make something for everybody. But for me personally, I want to see Star Wars go in a different direction. I don't want to see the franchise die. But we're at a point where, we really just have to dig in and appreciate the things that we have and the things we enjoy. The beauty of expression is that we can always pick and choose what we love, what we support. If you're not a fan of the sequels, you don't have to promote any of that. You don't have to buy the merchandise, you know? You can buy the old stuff, the goods, the classics. But I don't mean to go on a rant here, and I know this is not the content that my channel usually does, but this is something that, you know, kind of frustrated me because obviously you can't put too much stock into reports that aren't coming officially from Disney, but I do feel like there was a lot of hope in different sections of the fan base that, you know, we would see Star Wars go in a different direction and potentially start seeing the positive results. But until the day comes that significant change does happen and they change course on the direction they have been taking Star Wars, I can't say for certain it's going to get better, but Star Wars will always exist for what it was, whether that's the original trilogy, whether that's the original 6 films, including the prequels. There really is something for everybody in the fan base. You know, there are no gatekeepers here saying that you have to like all of it or you can't like any of it. So, with that being said, I will continue producing the content that I make. I love talking about different aspects of Star Wars, old stories, all that good stuff. And until the day comes that Star Wars officially dies, that is what I plan to do. I want you to let me know in the comments what type of content you want to see. I plan on growing this channel and making higher quality videos and really putting a lot of effort into making something that the community can appreciate. That's what I set out to do. I just enjoy doing it. And that's going to be it. That's all I got for you today. Appreciate you watching. As always, may the Force be with you. Now let's blow up that like button and go home.